Good Thursday morning, everyone. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. I'm John, and I'm here with Kaiser to talk to you about some of today's goings-on and what's in the news today. And the big news right now is the Al Green has been censured with 224 yays against the Democratic 198 for nay. And then the circus once again starts on the well of the floor, where they all got together on the Democratic side and started to sing some nonsense out to where the Speaker of the House could not bring everything back to order. What did you expect? And of course, he's got the threatening cane up in the air through the whole thing. They just do not want to own up to the fact that one of theirs, Al Green, made a fool out of himself at the speech the other night, and they decided that he should be censured. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of his buddies right there singing their song that should be censured as well. The whole bunch needs to be primaried the heck out of there, in my estimation, because they have embarrassed their party and themselves across the entire world. Turn on what I watch and listen to on the European news and then the Australian news. They all have it now. They're running it daily about what fools we have sitting in our Congress, fighting against things of the nature of balancing the budget, fighting again for people who a majority of don't even live where they work and have been let go. The payroll of these government employees is staggering, and then you find out they don't even bother to come to work. How much longer can we exist here as a country when you're paying out through other borders nonsensical things like the sex change of frogs? And he listed the other night a litany, which is just a tip of the iceberg of what Doge right now is uncovering. And of course, bad man Elon, he's just, he's causing people to have panics. And then it's announced today that Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, said that there's over 100,000 government employees that have been laid off that live in Pennsylvania. What are they doing in Pennsylvania if they're supposed to be in buildings in Washington, D.C.? Number one. And number two is, why are we paying people in a government salary and benefits for people who maybe even have another job, but they get their check every 2 weeks? It is a travesty to watch the nonsensical third-grade actions of these Democrats that have decided get Trump at any cost. And it doesn't matter where your tax dollars are going. We have to keep it up because these people are depending on getting their checks and through these grants to do the stupidest research projects that have no bearing on anything that's going on. And thank God we have RFK Jr. going to be looking over the shoulder of some of these research programs that are on the medical side of things that need to be looked at. Anyway, the censure, it was a circus to watch, as it was a circus to watch the other night when they thought that they were coming in their costumes with their little signs and things that were going to get Trump. In the meanwhile, what they did by sitting on their hands through some of the Gold Star families that were there, and also the families who have lost children to the rampant disregard of criminals crossing our border and welcomed in to sanctuary cities that decided that they didn't want to keep them in jail, much less call ICE to have them removed. And we're talking about a couple of these gangs, MS-13 and this Tren del Agua. These people are not, they're savages. They're here for some reason that hasn't been determined yet, but we think it was to bring up the voting base for this crippled presidency of Biden-Harris, and they're still running their mouths like it's something that Trump was responsible for, which is not true. We know it now. We see the graft. We see the mismanagement of our government. And now when it's trying to be swept clean, we have all of the Democratic side of the aisle fighting against bringing back our country. And Al Green and Crockett and Ilhan Omar, I don't want to even go any further into names because you all know and you've all seen it now firsthand. And unless you are blind, you have seen the worst of the worst actions by elected officials that are supposed to be doing the work of you and I, the people, we the people, and they pull this kind of stuff, and they need to be told, that's it, cut, we're out of here. You're not going to be reelected. And then maybe they'll stop and think, wow, my gravy train's coming to an end. And don't think for a minute that people like Al Green and the like are not worried about being found out that they may be part and parcel to what is going on with the grift in this government. Well, here, let's just take a look at what we have here on Al Green.
The House of Representatives just censured Democratic Texas Congressman Al Green over his outburst at Trump's joint address to Congress. You're looking at it there. Final vote was 224 to 198. Now, 10 Democrats voted yes, just 10, but I suppose that's something. And 2 Democrats voted present. Now, Green was escorted out of Tuesday's remarks after he refused to stop interrupting the president. He was screaming, "You have no mandate." He was waving his cane in the air. It was a whole lot of theatrics. Most Democrats maintain their support for Al Green and his actions. Now, while he was getting censured, his supporters broke out in song. Watch.
By its adoption of House Resolution 189, the House has resolved that Representative Al Green be censured, that Representative Al Green forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure, and that Representative Al Green be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker. The House had come to order. The House had come to order.
It's amazing that they got away with another protest in front of the American public. This was carried live on Fox, and it was carried on some other stations as well. I think Newsmax is putting it up. And I don't know how you can rectify or even justify their actions. It's incredible. And let's just look at what they're saying about the border. And it's unbelievable how low the border attempts have been since Election Day and since January 20th. It's been amazing. And, well, here, let's take a look at that.
But look at what I've inherited and what I've done. We're a great nation. It's not acting like a great nation. So I'm calling on Congress to pass this bill, get it to my desk immediately. But if the bill fails, I want to be absolutely clear about something. The American people are going to know why it failed. I'll be taking this issue to the country, and the voters are going to know that it's not just a moment. Just at the moment, we're going to secure the border and fund these other programs. Trump and the MAGA Republicans said no, because they're afraid of Donald Trump. Afraid of Donald Trump. Every day between now and November, the American people are going to know that the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friends.
Illegal border crossings have sunk to the lowest level in at least 25 years.
That the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump.
Preliminary government data obtained by CBS News shows Border Patrol officers apprehended nearly 8,500 migrants between points of entry along the U.S.-Mexico border last month. That's down about 70% from January. Unlawful border crossings have trended downward over the past year since hitting an all-time high of 250,000 in late 2023.
The challenge that we have as an administration is we got to let people know who brung it to them. That's our challenge.
Do we know what's behind this drop in border crossings?
Well, look, I think we have to first emphasize how stunning and remarkable this drop is. Fewer than 9,000 migrants were processed at the U.S.-Mexico border after crossing into the country illegally in February. That is compared to some days during the Biden administration when Border Patrol recorded more than that on 24-hour time spans, including up to 10,000 people in a single day. So it is a dramatic, stunning turnaround at the U.S.-Mexico border.
Think about that.
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
Hell yes.
Push to close. Okay.
Push it.
Get the hell out of here.
It's a miracle, isn't it, that with a single change of a president, that the border is now closed. We didn't need Congress to come up with a thing. And then when they start telling you all about how Trump prevented the bill being pushed through that would have closed the border, don't forget that they packed in all kinds of pork and more aid than needed for the Ukraine president. And this is one of the main reasons the border thing didn't happen. Not only that, in their program that they were trying to slide through and blame Trump that it didn't go through, included 2,500 to 5,000 a day coming across. And the way they were coming across was going to be no different than the passes that were given to the bunch that just crashed the border, knocked over police officers, knocked over border agents, knocked over ICE people. And then they pack it full of pork for their personal pet projects. It's incredible. Well, when the world sees how evil one person can be, and we're talking about that louts that are over at MSNBC, Rachel Maddow and her sidekick there, after talking about that young man who survived brain tumors that and many operations that was awarded the Secret Service thing the other night. And this was their answer to it. Take a look here.
Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer. DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago. Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer, actually a number of times. The police love him, the police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
Isn't that nice?
But I think this was a lesson in finding one thing that you let yourself feel. And I let myself feel joy about DJ. And I hope he's alive for another, 95 years, right? And I hope he lives and the life he wants to live. He wants to be a cop. He knows what he wants to do. And maybe when you have childhood cancer, that crystallizes for you. And I hope he has a long life as a law enforcement officer. But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump's supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide. And I hope he isn't one who has to testify against the people who carried out acts of seditious conspiracy and then live to see Donald Trump pardon those people.
Wow. Wow!
But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump's supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide.
These people are sick. They're sick. They're bad people.
She can't do that. Shoot her or something. Trump.
Unbelievable reactions to what took place. And now we see the pure hate and evil that pours forth from that particular network that should not get 1 minute of your time. Not at all. They're reveling today in the fact that they believe that Zelensky won over Donald Trump. And he wants the peace agreement all of a sudden. Like we didn't watch what happened. They're trying to narrate the story down to where he's the hero and Trump was the mean guy. Listen, we all saw, we all were there. Yeah, on the TV set, it was plain and simple. It's a very transparent administration that we're dealing with right now. Highly transparent and highly driven with faith backing because they are not afraid to talk about the presence of God inside our institutions. They are not afraid to talk about how God has guided Donald Trump through hell and back, and they still have not gotten the message. The devil's minions that are sitting on the left aisle with a couple of helpers on the other side of the aisle as well. And it's not a good situation for them right now because they've lost their grip. They've lost their grip on what they thought were dyed-in-the-wool votes for them. They brought in a massive amount of illegals to help get them elected. And let's, in some cases, in this last election, let some of them vote, but some got caught. They were planning this again, and they didn't succeed because too many people after 2020 election got to watch what was actually going on and didn't allow it to happen this time. Too many eyes, and it was too big a movement for them to cheat in. Plain. Simple. And we use common sense while they use fairy tales and craziness on their side of and their party. It's hard to watch almost sometimes when these people do the things that they do and try to convince you you didn't see them do it, so you must be wrong. You're a conspiracy theorist. Let's keep everyone divided. This is their plan. Divide the blacks and whites. Divide the Asians. Bring in people that are dependent on us. We'll give them whatever they want. Cars, homes, money, credit cards, cell phones, whatever, because they'll vote our way. This is how simplistic their minds are. The only reason they've gotten along with it all these years is that they, unlike the Republicans, learned how to work in unison together. You want to see it? Look back here at the Al Green thing. They're all there singing with him because they stick together. Where the Democrats had to learn to stick together, and it was driven in this last election where they did stick together and they won. And we are winning every time he signs an executive order. It kicks in a new spin for these people to try and keep up with. They are perplexed beyond any wildest imagination because they don't know what's going to hit them next. Once they start to prepare to say that he's this and he's doing that, he comes out with 3 more things in one night, which confuses the hell out of them, and it's almost comical to watch, and it is better than any TV sitcom that you could hope to see. And it's all for the good of our country, and it's all for the betterment of our population and our country's coffers, as well as stopping, and he will stop the flow of this fentanyl that is killing millions of people. And now it's laced in everything. You cannot. I used to, when my children were growing up and in high school ages, I always warned them, when you go to a party and you're having a Coca-Cola, don't set it down and walk away and come back to it, because there were people that would put things in it just to see and get a laugh out of your reaction. But today, this will kill you, not just make you stupid and high, it will kill you. And we have to put an end to this, or we're going to lose an entire population of young people that we need to learn to work and help us make this country great again. We can't not allow fentanyl or any other manufactured drug to come across our borders any longer. And that includes your border too, Mr. Trudeau. So you can holler about tariffs all you want, But until you get a hold of your borders and help us stop the flow of illegal substances and illegal people coming across to do the damage that they do, they're rounding up now ISIS people that were plentiful coming through the lower border and have been in here with enough time now between Biden's mistakes and him and this president trying to clean it up. What have they been doing for the last 2 years? What have they been setting up to cause a problem in our society? What have they been doing to qualify for free hotel rooms and checks or debit cards or whatever they were giving them along with a hotel room, while our veterans who fought for this country and in some cases came home in pieces? It's a crime that they're in the streets while these bozos that crash through here and are criminals for crossing the border illegally are in hotel rooms in the Roosevelt Hotel in New York City. And then just yesterday, the sanctuary city mayors, had you had an opportunity to watch the questioning of these mayors that are protecting people from being picked up, and we're talking about criminals here. We're talking about people sitting in the tombs in New York, on Rikers Island, and so on, that have been convicted of some crime, and they are illegally in this country, and these mayors are preventing ICE from coming in and getting them out of our country. Get out. These mayors, if they have any shot at being elected, look at Chicago and this idiot from Boston. They couldn't answer questions about it, and they know how much was spent. In one case, I think one of them said that it was over $160 million that was put into housing these people. I forget which state that was, but or which town. But these sanctuary cities have to be dealt with, and dealt with quickly, so we can get the bad element that are killing our wives, daughters, and children out of this country and keep them out. And why would the Democratic Party fight so hard against that happening? Why is it that the blue cities, such as Boston, Chicago, San Francisco, L.A., fight against extradition of criminal people that have criminal history in the country of origin? And they got let in and well taken care of by these sanctuary dumps that are now used to be nice cities, but their illegal help right there has turned it into dumps. You have people in San Francisco defecating in the streets. You have to walk around human excrement to get into a door in some cases. And that used to be one of my favorite cities to be in for any period of time. It was a great place. Not anymore. It sure as heck isn't. And now he's asked us, the president has asked us to bear with him through this tariff stuff, and everything will be okay. You'll see a little bit of a rise, but you cannot fix 4 years of total screw-ups in 6 weeks. And the media circus out there that wants to make an issue out of, well, he made the promise he was going to take care of the economy. Look at the promises that he did make and already has completed, number one. And number two is you cannot take the economy off of its foothold that was solidified 2 to 3 years ago in a downfall. Prices were rising rapidly through that 4-year administration, and they never even took an eye and looked at what was happening. Look at the trillions of dollars that were spent overseas on projects that most of it, when you hear it said out loud by DOJ, by the president, by the news medias that are telling you anything about it, it is so hard to believe you would think that somebody made it up. But it's true, and it's proven. And then they're hollering that they don't want to let the people that let this happen go. They should be taken care of. We can't let them go. They'll be out of work. They've been out of work since COVID. Come on. Everyone knows it now. How much more do they think they're going to hide or pull the wool over your eyes anymore about? It's craziness that's taken place. And it's crazy, crazy, crazy on the Democratic side of the aisle. It was shown to you twice this week. One at the speech, the joint session speech, and the disgrace that they put themselves through to the entire world was evident to everyone. And then today, censuring the guy that tried to disrupt everything, they come out and disrupt the censure process. It's almost crazy. But there you have it. It's Thursday. We're looking forward to a weekend here that's going to be okay weather-wise, I think. And God loves us all and will give us a real springtime soon. It's Lent. I'm sure you're all giving up something for Lent, and I wish that when you do decide to give up something for Lent, it will be mainstream legacy media, because they are doing more damage and more propaganda than you can possibly imagine. We'll be back tomorrow morning and give you a Kaiser report of what's going to take place for the rest of this day that we don't know about yet, but they may be a surprise around the corner. I did promise you to get into some discussions here about Mr. Zelensky. I do have a 12-page report here to give you exactly what's going on. I kind of held back a day on that because I'm interested in seeing, after the letter was written and now the news media is all aglow because their favorite person, Zelensky, is talking about coming back. And we all know that he'll meet with Schumer first and get his marching orders. This is a man that needs to be gotten out of our government. He is no help to anyone but himself. And I personally hope that he has somebody run against him, and when he gets up for election, that will kick his ass out. Sorry. But anyway, we ran you an ad yesterday on Lazy J Farms and Butcher Shop. So don't forget, if you need some stuff for the weekend, call Butch down there. Tell him Kaiser sent you, and he'll cut up some meat for you that you will be happy with. So again, that's Lazy J Farms, and you can see it right here, and Butcher Shop. And they are wonderful people. So give them a call and stop by and see them. And if you're out of town, they'll ship it to your door. So give them a call. And we're going to say for this Thursday, have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. And I want to say, stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for your further commentary and information. Bye-bye now.